right, midnight deadline to file your 2018 taxes, just moments away. And thanks to President Trump, the majority of Americans will be keeping more of their hard-earned money due to the historic tax reform. Now, that's despite, by the way, the absolute lies told by the liberal media and certain Democrats.
What they're doing is dishonest in terms of telling the middle class they're getting a tax hike when, in fact, they're getting ripped off.
10 years out, 60% of Americans will see their taxes go up because of this bill. And it's the lower 60% of Americans.
Who would have thought they could have made the bill even less favorable to the middle class and more slanted towards the wealthy?
When they said this tax cut would help millions of people, they meant people with millions.
Colbert, that economics PhD. Well, the echo chamber of negative news on the Trump tax cuts is having an impact on the voters. Well, according to a new Gallup poll, 49% apparently disapprove of the president's tax bill. 40% approve. And that's the highest approval for the measure since Gallup started measuring reaction. But finally, there is some pushback to the lies. And now even the liberal New York Times admits it was wrong, writing, quote, "The gap between perception and reality on the tax cuts appears to flow from a sustained and misleading effort by liberal opponents of the law to brand it as a broad middle-class tax increase." Joining me now, White House National Economic Council Director Larry Kudlow. Larry, how much is the average American saving this year?
About $2,300. That is a big number. Average family, $75,000 a year, will save $2,300. That is a very big number. Businesses are going to save huge amounts of money, not just big businesses, but medium and small businesses, which may be driving the economy right now, with the most incredible drop in unemployment in 50 years across the spectrum, all manner of minority groups, including women who were the biggest job gainers last year.
But isn't it, could you argue that the administration might not have done the best job on selling what this tax cut would do from the beginning to have that poll number with this economy where it is? And small business owners calling me, a friend of mine's an accountant over in Maryland, said, "Thank you, President Trump. I just got an extra, I think it's like $3,000 or $4,000 this year because of this tax cut." I mean, those stories are everywhere, and yet look at that poll, still pretty lame.
So, okay, let's look at this. Trump policies, lower taxes, deregulation, opening up energy, good trade deals. We are in a rising tide of prosperity. His policies are rebuilding the economy. Now, all right, polls, let's look at polls. 58%. Harvard Harris, Georgetown or George Washington battleground poll, and NBC Wall Street Journal. 58% believe we are in a positive, prosperous economy. So,
by the way, Bernie Sanders tonight was on with Martha and Brett, and he said, "You all don't get any credit for this economy, Larry." Let's watch.
Do you know what unemployment is in Germany now? 3.1%. In Japan, it's 2.8%. In the UK, it's a hair higher than us. In other words, the entire global economy, thank God, is bouncing back for the terrible, terrible Wall Street disaster. The global economy is coming back, and unemployment is relatively low. Now, I know Trump will give a slightly different spin on it.
Yeah, and earlier he said, well, the president's trying to take all the credit. He basically doesn't deserve it. Your reaction to that, the real truth of the G7 versus the United States?
Listen, the G7 is nearly in recession. You can argue Germany. He mentioned Germany. I don't get that. Germany is either flat or in a recession. The Eurozone, flat or in a recession. China slumping. We are the hottest economy in the world, growing 3% or better, with a 3.8% unemployment rate, with wages rising. Mr. Sanders neglects this. The biggest beneficiaries are the blue-collar workers, not the supervisors. We've never seen blue-collar employment like this in 50 years. The wage rates are above 3%. But in that cohort, okay, look at overall wages, the biggest gainers, the blue-collar, non-supervisory workers. He is precisely wrong. And I'll go back to this point. 58% believe that we are in economic prosperity from Trump's policies. You know, tax cuts are a means to an end.
What about the debt? $22 trillion.
The end is jobs.
Bernie hit that idea about that debt is a killer. I mean, we're adding huge spending onto this economy.
We will grow at better than 3% in our estimates. That is the best measure to bring down deficits. President Trump also has the toughest budget he's put up, 5% cuts in domestic side. If the so-called spending caps are not met, guess what? We are going to sequester across the board spending
I say
cuts.
Bring back the sequester. Pete Buttigieg, what do you
The
make
old
of
Graham Rudman. The old Graham Rudman.
I'm for the sequester. Everybody hates the sequester. I'm glad. 10% across the board. You got to start cutting.
President's going to be the toughest budget you've seen.
Next year.
Better growth.
Yeah.
Better growth. More limited government.
Yeah.
That'll help on that side.
What do you think of Buttigieg out there talking about how Trump is trying to capture the middle of America, but it's selling basically fear and a bygone era that's never coming back? What do you make of that?
You know, President Trump is going to win middle America. This is going to be, listen to this, old Reagan guy, me, I've seen this before. This is going to be the biggest economic big tent you've ever seen. You go down the list, African Americans, Asians, whites, adult men and women, teenagers, the unemployment rates are so low and the wages have improved so much at the lower end that they are going to come into the Trump economic
Democrats freak out. Are they freaking out right now?
Yeah, because they're going to lose all the hard hats, all the construction guys. We're building pipelines. We're opening up trade deals that are going to have farmers.
Don't let China off easy, though, Larry.
China's going to be a
they're
tough deal.
going to live up to those promises?
Or we won't make the deal if it's not
Better
the right
not, because I'll be coming after you if
But
you
the
do.
biggest winners in that will be farmers and ranchers, okay, ordinary folks.
All right, we got to go. But this
and the USMCA deal.
Bernie,
one little plug.
Bernie is, I got to tell you.
So look at, let's do it. One last one.
Got to go.
Senator Sanders, okay.
Got to go.
180 million Americans will lose their private insurance under Sanders. He will take out 15% of the GDP inside of 10 years. At the very moment where we have a new prosperity cycle from Trump policies, he wants to turn it back into a deep recession. That is nuts. That is just crazy.
Larry Kudlow.
And that's the economic big tent that's coming.
Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
All right.